How's it, everybody? And welcome
Show.
back to the Joystick Show, where it's me, Drake, and Thomas,
Yay!
and Scott.
Yeah.
Why did I
There's-
say yay?
I
I
don't
cheered
know.
for my own name. That's
Yay.
dropped the
terrible.
ball there.
God.
Well,
Wow.
hey, it's the three of us, your three favorite friends. We're going to talk about some stuff today. But you know what? Thanks for sticking with us. Super much mahalos. And like and subscribe. We always talk about that. I don't know if you are doing it, but if you are doing it, thank you. And if you're not, like, come on, bros.
That's great. Yeah, and share with a friend because
Yeah.
if somebody would enjoy it because we're really close to 4,000 downloads, and it'd be nice to hit it in October so that we can, I don't know what we can get to by December, but it'd be just nice to do that. So
Yeah.
Please and thank you.
there you
like
go.
it.
That's our request right off the bat.
Boom. And
Okay,
it's free.
Oh, yeah, that's true, yeah. Unless we start some sort of cool Patreon, which maybe.
Now we're going straight to OnlyFans.
Oh, yeah.
That's where the money is.
Feet
Yup.
pics.
Yeah, I've been,
Bonus
I've-
content and feed pics.
yeah, doing a lot of pedicures, so.
And
Kind of
yeah.
hilarious. You just post videos of you going to get pedicures.
Yeah, and I just put my fingers in between my toes all the time, just like this, and just like,
Oh, like it. That always
that's
feels great.
ASMR. Yeah, it does.
Wow, super off track and way really weird way to
Something to look
start
forward
this
to,
one.
guys.
Oh.
We got a little bit of news today, very little bit. It's mainly about Gen V and Ahsoka. But Scott watched something else that's from Wes Anderson that looks pretty interesting. Anderson.
Pretty interesting.
Very interesting. Okay, all right.
Yeah.
But we got a little bit of news as well. Tiny bit. Let's get through the news. All right, Drake, fire away on the first bit of news.
So if you like kicking balls, then you're gonna love soccer-related things. Oh, heyo. I don't know why I didn't do that. It's my typical go-to. But Welcome to Wrexham is up for season 2. And if you don't know, they got promoted. So the Robs have taken this team that was in essentially the bottom of the league and brought them into the EFL, where they have a chance to rise up essentially 3 more ranks before the Premier League. It's a very personal story with this town. And they're finding new vibrance. Just because they got promoted, the town now has, to a degree, not doubled in size, but the revenue has gone straight up. People are literally going to that town just to see the people from the documentary and just to cheer on Wrexham, which means the tourism has gone up, infrastructure obviously got a little bit better, and then the visibility of this team has gotten way large. And to see something or people come together for that one cause is very uplifting. So if you're having a shitty day and you're like, man, the world sucks, you go on, you watch Wrexham, you see some balls get kicked, you see some sad cry things, and then you feel good about it because human beings still have a little bit of humanity.
Damn. Well said. It is interesting. Well, actually, let me just ask this. Isn't it interesting how everything that Ryan Reynolds touches, it seems like it just turns to gold,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
I mean,
Mint Mobile, Aviation Gin, Deadpool, like everything that guy is involved with now, I feel like it just makes money.
Yeah, I agree.
yeah.
He's a good
I-
businessman.
Yeah. Did he? Yeah. It's strange though, because I feel like that model has been there, right? Like invest to a degree, and people have done it before, but not to the elevation of Ryan Reynolds.
You know what though? Like I like that he inserts himself in the um promotion of the products.
Oh
and
yeah,
like
yeah.
he's
Mint
good
Mobile's
at
one is
being
hilarious.
like funny and like
Yeah.
witty, clever, charming, all that wrapped together.
Yeah.
Like being silly, but you also like the guy in the same bit of 30-second bit thing you're watching. So he's like got that dialed in. So you put him in any sort of commercial and he's selling it. Like
Yeah.
No, so
So
He's
crazy.
definitely he's up there with The Rock and like Shaq and Snoop Dogg in terms of all the things they have their hands in that are super successful.
just BIPOC dudes, you know.
Yeah, dude. Doing it up. Doing it
Yeah.
up.
100%. So yes, definitely check out Welcome to Wrexham Season 2 on Hulu. We got something that I'm super looking forward to this month. We posted something about it on Instagram, and I don't know if you guys got to see the full trailer. I think it was like a 20-second little thing,
Yeah.
but it basically shows Peter Parker and Miles Morales going up against Venom. Really badass trailer. I mean, it looks
Hmm.
incredible. I'm like, God, just give us that in live action. I'd be stoked. But I'm stoked about the game because I've gone back and started to play the Miles Morales version
Hmm.
just to redo it, New Game Plus lately, and that game is so awesome. I mean, it is so damn good. So we are getting that I think on the 20th of this month.
I think you're
Let
right
me
about
Oh,
that.
check.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm pumped for
So
that game. It looks good and fun. The first one and the Miles Morales one were such fun to get through. I'm gonna sink a lot of hours into this
I'm
new one
excited
for
for the
sure.
skins.
there's a ton.
Yeah.
So if you pre-order it now, you get 2 skins. You get one for Peter, one for Miles, and then if you do the deluxe edition, which is $10 more, which is sounds crazy to say, it's $79.99.
Mm-hmm.
Regular edition $69.99. But if you get the
69.
deluxe edition, you get 5 extra skins per character plus 3 bonus points plus extra features in camera mode. I'm like,
And the game's already beaten when you get it. So
Yeah.
you get
I
everything,
mean,
guys.
I wouldn't even doubt it. It's like, why even like to give you 3, 4, 5 extra skill points? Kind of seems a little cheat. I feel
Yeah,
like, but
it's like what?
Yeah.
whatever.
They're gonna
Oh,
Avengers you on it. Oh, yeah.
I'm sorry. I'm gonna go back in the past for a second. Oh,
Okay.
Ryan
Do it.
Reynolds, right? Just because we just saw this and we were talking
Hmm.
about Ryan Reynolds, isn't it great how him and Taylor Swift are putting the Chiefs on the map? Like, I don't even feel like
Oh,
anybody had ever heard of that team before. Taylor Swift started going to those games, and
yeah.
Ryan Reynolds with Hugh Jackman and Dan Levy and all that.
I do know
Yeah.
a Hungarian-born German woman who loves the Chiefs.
Oh,
So
yeah.
there's another show coming out.
Do we know this person? Wait, what is this reference?
You don't, but it's
Anything is possible out there, ladies and
anything is
Dude,
possible.
gentlemen.
my
Yeah, dude,
neighbor
Kevin
loves
Garnett.
the Chiefs, so
Yeah,
that's
yeah.
super
Yeah, yeah.
related.
Who else
Yeah,
do I
all
know
my
who loves
friends
the
love the
Chiefs?
Chiefs. All right, guys, come on.
What are you saying?
I've got friends that love the Chiefs. Okay.
Yeah, so wild times out there in pop culture world. They are also hiring Marvel, I should say, is hiring somebody to write an X-Men movie, which I could not be more happy about.
Oh my god, yes.
Oh,
Let's get this
It's
ball
happening,
rolling.
people. It's
Come
happening.
on.
oh,
That's it.
I want it to be. Who do I want it to be to write it? Taika Waititi.
No.
No.
Next.
Yeah.
Oh, John Mulaney.
Dave Filoni.
Oh, okay.
Dave Filoni. Yeah.
Benedict
Got lightsabers in it.
Cumberbatch.
It's got lightsabers coming out of
Maybe
Cyclops' eyes.
seriously, it'd be something ridiculous.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's
Henry
like,
Cavill.
okay. Yeah, why not? I don't know.
Why
There's
not?
a lot of great writers out there, and we've got a
Mm.
lot of them back to work. So I'm sure that's going to be great. You can't screw that up. It's
Yeah.
it's a legacy character team for Marvel, and also reading the comics lately it's honestly the thing I look forward to the most out of everything. And we have some great shows to talk about tonight. So if you want to hear more about the comics, hit us up on social media. All right. So first bit of review tonight. We're already in the review portion. What was the show called that Wes Anderson has just directed, starring Benedict Cumberbatch?
Oh, right. So I went
Jeez.
on Netflix and I was like, look at this, Benedict Cumberbatch. She's in a thing. Wes Anderson directed it. It's called The Wonderful Story of Henry Sugar. So it runs about 39 minutes. It's, nice and short.
I like you the
Um,
time.
Very Wes Anderson. Um, like from the clothing to, of course, the style, the way it's shot, the breaking of the fourth wall type of look at the camera and all that stuff, the colors, everything. What's cool about this too is like they're using practical shots, like almost like you're on like a set, like backgrounds moving, like rolling off the camera and everything. So it's pretty cool. But then I didn't realize this was a short film, like one of 4 he put up. So there's some other ones. I didn't watch these other ones yet, but I'm looking forward to. It's called The Swan, The Rat
Oh.
Catcher, and Poison is the other one. And
Hmm.
what's cool is in these short films, they're rotating the cast around. So you got Benedict Cumberbatch, Ray Fiennes, and Ben Kingsley are like the 2 or the 3 top dudes that you recognize right away. And within the other shorts, like they're playing different characters. So kind of like an American Horror Story type of thing, just reusing them in different stories. So pretty cool. The short stories are based off of the short stories written by
Who?
Roald Dahl. I believe.
Roald Dahl.
Roald Dahl, guys.
Name some of his work, Scott.
boom, you may have recognized some stuff like Charlie and the Chocolate Factory,
Duh.
Matilda,
Yup.
James and the Giant Peach.
The best.
Yeah, so
Wow.
pretty big guy. So, but it's really cool. And they're really short, so you could probably watch them all in one sitting and be like the length of a movie. I just found out that there was other ones after, like they weren't all next to each other. Like, I guess the Benedict Cumberbatch one was there, and then I'm scrolling more, and I'm like, wait,
They're
he
all
did
there.
another movie? And then I'm like, this is 17 minutes, and like that's how. And then I looked it up, and I'm like, okay,
Oh,
there's four. So
so some of them are even shorter than the 49
yeah,
minutes.
so the one I saw was 39 minutes. The other three are 17 minutes.
Huh,
So
okay. I
yeah,
only saw the Benedict one as well, so that's why I thought it was just this one thing. I didn't even
yeah,
know it was 49 minutes either, which is like,
yeah.
how did they come up with that?
Mm.
Maybe,
I don't know. So I was reading a little bit on like how they wanted to tell the story. I think Wes Anderson was sitting on this idea for a couple years. Like, I really like this story. At least on the one I watched, he was saying he really liked that story, the story of Henry Sugar. And he's
mhm.
like, how do I transition this to the like live action? And I think they try to stay like super close to like what is actually written. So I guess all the dialogue is like straight from the short story, and then that's why the way it's shot and the way the set moves and stuff is kind of like a play, I think, because that's the only way for the scenes to just kind of cut and work. um
Hmm.
but the one I saw is pretty cool. Like the story itself, here's a little synopsis. It's about a rich man, Benedict Cumberbatch, who learns about a guru who can see without using his eyes, and then sets out to master the skill
Really
so he can cheat at
enunciating.
gambling.
Sorry, I cut you off there. You're really enunciating those last word of each sentence. And I was
Sorry, I'm
like getting,
super excited
I, I
about
could
this.
tell you were doing that. I
My
used
bad.
two
Okay.
words there,
Well,
but
it's about a rich man who learns about a guru who can see without his eyes. So they wrap stuff around. And they're like, how is this possible? So he learns about it, and he's like, oh, I'm gonna learn this and then get really good at cheating at cards, so I can get
Sick.
rich. So like
oh,
he's already a rich dude. He just wants to get more rich. So it's like following this story. But the
those
way
guys
it's
always
told, the way
win.
it's shot, it's great. Very Wes Anderson. Recommend
Nice.
checking that out.
Wow. Wes Anderson does Roald Dahl. Sounds like something anybody would watch. Anybody.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Literally.
Even
What
you?
are other things anybody would watch?
What about that
Probably.
lady you were talking about earlier?
Oh,
She
yeah.
watches that?
Yeah,
But
she probably watches that.
all right.
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
you mean the
Right
Hungarian-born
after the
German
Chiefs
woman I
game.
did? Yeah, yeah. Right
Yeah,
after the
that
Chiefs
one.
game, she goes straight into it. Wes Anderson, Roald
Nice.
Dahl. Because Roald Dahl's books, I believe, were like darker, his original works, and so
Mm,
interesting to see Wes Anderson take it and kind of Wes Andersonify it.
yeah.
Yeah. Because I think he
He's
kind of lightens it up. Like I was telling you guys, I just watched not too long ago Asteroid City.
oh yeah, yeah,
It's
yeah, yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
interesting. It's like definitely interesting. I think, yeah, I'll just leave it there. I don't even know if I have anything else to say. It was like, I think I have to, I don't know, watch it one more time to really understand what I saw. Because there's some interesting things in there. Just leave it at
Yeah,
that.
based on the trailer, I was like, the cast is cool and it looks very Wes Anderson. Like he definitely has a style. So I was like, okay,
Yeah,
I'll check this out. But
totally.
I can't really tell you what the movie was about. Like,
Me neither. And I watched
cool,
it.
nice.
So
Definitely gonna
yeah,
watch it.
we'll have to
Dang.
yeah, check that out, man. It was definitely on my list. I love Benedict Cumberbatch. I think he's such a talented actor. You know,
Yep.
it's
Yeah.
amazing that we got him in the MCU as Doctor Strange because he's perfect at that too.
Yeah.
But you saw him when he was Sherlock, right, Drake? And
Oh
then
yeah.
next thing I realized, he's like going basically acting against Robert Downey Jr. or with Robert Downey Jr. And I'm like, damn, he's already at that level.
Yeah, it's great. They're
Yeah.
both Sherlock. Yeah, his Sherlock was really good
Oh, it's
too. That's
true.
They
also
should
on
do a
Netflix.
multiverse Sherlock where they also have Johnny from Train Spotting.
Yeah. The
Do it.
Multiverse of Madness Sherlock edition.
Let's do it.
Oh, you could have what's
Oh,
the
and Henry
girl from
Cavill.
Stranger Things? Yep, Henry Cavill.
Mm-hmm.
Yep, and then what was Billy
In
Bobby
in
Brown?
Enola.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah.
Enola
Enola
Holmes.
pops up,
Yeah, she can
and
pop up.
Lucy Liu.
Oh yeah, Lucy Liu. She's Watson. There's also a
Oh,
Miss
Japanese
Watson.
Watson. Never
version
mind. I don't know.
of a Sherlock where they have this similar dynamic, but it's a
Well, that's
female character is the Sherlock, and then she has another friend who's also a doctor. Same. I forget what it's called. You can just Google Japanese Sherlock, and you'll find it. You'll find
Nice.
I'm gonna have to do that.
it.
you're following along at home, this is when you jump on Google and you Google that.
Yeah,
Yep.
yeah, yeah.
All right, and you're gonna go ahead and left click there, and then
Yeah.
you're already there.
Oh gosh. So something that hopefully you won't have to Google. We put out a little video about it. It's going off everywhere. Gen V just dropped on Amazon Prime this past weekend, and it is a spin-off of The Boys set with a whole new cast primarily, but you do kind of get some standouts from The Boys as well. And man, it's good. I liked it. I
It's like
liked
Yeah.
it.
Gen Z.
I
Did I not say the name?
concur.
Yeah, sorry. Gen Z. Exactly.
Wait, what?
Well, what'd you guys think?
No,
Did I say it wrong
Gen
too?
V.
Again? God
No,
dang
you
it.
said V.
It's too
I
late.
said
Gen
it's
Z,
like
and
a
then-
Gen Z, and then you're like,
You're
yep,
like, oh,
Gen
what?
Z, and I was like,
All
"Ooh."
right.
Yep, that's the name now. Don't.
You got
I'm
Gen
impressionable,
V.
all right? I'm tired.
Sorry.
You could say
Okay.
anything, I'll believe it. Talking about some Japanese Sherlock, sure. But yes, Gen V is out on Amazon Prime. I really dug it. I thought these first 3 episodes, I almost liked it. I'm almost liking it more than The Boys. I know it's too soon to say that, really, but there are a lot of things I'm really digging about it. Right off the cuff, what do you guys think about these first 3 episodes?
Yeah, I mean, I really like it. I think the actors are great. I like everyone they have for each of the roles. I think like you said, you like it a little more than The Boys right away. It could be because like for whatever reason, I'm like on board with these actors right away. Maybe it's just more relatable. I feel like college is like maybe closer to us than
Than
Death.
people
a
in
bunch
their
of dudes
30s.
trying to take down superheroes. I don't know. So there's a lot of things that are relatable to what younger kids or like young adults are dealing with now, and throwing in the chaotic nature of like the Boys universe. Like,
Yeah.
so
Definitely.
yeah, I feel like they do a good job of like, it's the Boys, because if they're gonna show any sort of blood or any sort of sex or any sort of like little bit of thing that's like, whoa, a little risque, they go all in. It's like boom, like explosions
Yeah.
of blood, giant penis in the first episode.
Yeah.
Just like they go all in. But
Mhm.
they still have stuff that is like relatable, so it's good. Yeah, all the actors are great. And then that one dude, I noticed he was in Sabrina. I really like him.
The Teenage Witch.
Chance Perdomo.
Oh.
He's also in this. So
Which one is
Nice,
Chance?
good on
Which
him.
which character
he's
does he play?
he's the one who plays the younger was it
Andre.
Polaris or
Polarity.
Polarity.
He
Yeah,
plays
he's
the
like
Yeah, his dad was the
legacy, yeah.
original Polarity.
yeah.
Yeah, he's
Oh,
good.
interesting.
He's a good actor. I like that kid. I'm like, man, why haven't I seen him in more things? But
Mhm.
I think there was Jazz Sinclair also in the Sabrina the Teenage Witch?
Oh, I think she was actually. Yeah, she was one of the
What?
witches.
Mhm.
Like different line of witches.
I like her. She's
Yeah,
by
she's
far
great.
one of my favorites already.
So it's
Yeah.
pretty much just like Sabrina, but Gen V, Gen 5.
Yeah, but not as CW, It's very The Boys. Like
It is.
Boys.
The Boys. Yeah, it does fit this universe.
Well, I can tell you that my wife has watched all 3 of them. She binged it. She usually doesn't binge things because she has a very specific line of things that she likes to watch: reality television, telenovela,
Yep.
and then YouTube Hispanic type people.
Okay.
And so
Okay.
she went straight, or like influencers, and so she went straight to
Two of
this.
those categories are almost the same.
Yeah, pretty much. But they're on different kind of streaming services, so
Okay. Fair, 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 fair.
So she binged it, and typically if she's trying to, or when she starts to like explain it to me, or she'll like pause it to like find me wherever I'm at, even if I'm taking a poop, and she'll be like, let me tell you about what I'm just watching, and then I know she's super into it. So that makes me believe that it's super gettable, meaning it's super easy to walk into and enjoy and observe. B, it's enthralling so much so that you want to just continue to watch it.
Yeah.
And C, it's got that drama that just keeps you there. B and C kind of sound similar, but again, different platforms, so
yeah.
Completely different things.
completely different things.
The show on what Suits on Hulu or Suits on Netflix is a completely different show than Suits on TNT.
Yeah,
Right,
or
like-
Suits on USA.
yeah.
They're
Oh,
all
USA
different,
or whatever.
yeah,
Well,
yeah,
because
yeah.
one, you have commercials, and that
Yeah,
that's
yeah.
huge.
So different.
Huge.
so different.
Huge.
So different. It's huge, okay?
Huge.
Okay.
Yeah.
But yeah. So I think now I'm just gonna throw this warning out there. We're gonna talk full spoilers because there's some things I wanted to dive into, but I
Let's
wanted
do
to
it.
like get out the initial thoughts. So yeah, full spoilers on this. Skip ahead, I don't know, 20 minutes or so if
Mhm.
you want to get to Ahsoka. Uh, man, this show did something that The Boys always does, which is in the first episode, it does something really shocking that you're not expecting in a moment, and you're like, holy shit, this is episode one. If this is happening in the first episode, what's going to happen the rest of the season? And I think you know which moment I'm talking about, right, Scott?
Oh yeah, yeah. Should we break that down?
Yeah, 100%.
Okay,
Yeah.
cool. Yeah, so it starts with like the leading actress, Jazz Sinclair, when she's younger.
Yeah. Who
Um,
plays Marie Moreau?
yeah, she plays Marie Moreau, and she's like in the living room with her family. She gets like a stomach ache. All of a sudden, she rushes to the restroom, and she's starting her period. And this is like
Ooh.
the first time she's like even aware of what that even is. The mom has an inkling. She's going upstairs to talk to her about that. Like, this must be a thing. I want to have to talk with her. So she like, she sees the blood for the first time. She's freaking out. And then on another level, the blood starts floating because her powers start activating right then. And then because of that, she falls over, freaks out. The mom was like, "What's going on?" Breaks the door in. She freaks out. The blood that was floating flies at the mom's neck, slices her throat. Mom's on the ground, bleeding out. She's freaking out. The dad comes in. What happened? What'd you do? She freaks out even more, starts screaming. The mom, like, the blood explodes basically, shrapnel blood everywhere in the dad's head. Now the dad's dead, and she's just freaking out. And then they show like the sister comes to the door, and then that's when it cuts, and you're like, "What the hell?" And this is like her origin story.
Yeah.
Okay, let
Bananas.
me describe to you how my wife explained that to me. It's a
Okay.
condensed version.
Yeah, please
Okay.
lay it on us.
So she comes in and she goes, "Guess what just happened?" I'm like, "What?" And she goes, "Oh, so this girl, she started having her period, and then she like wiped down there, and like she looked at it, she freaked out, and she like moved her hand, and then her parents died."
Yeah,
I
she
mean,
summed
pretty
it
much
up.
what you just said, Scott.
Yeah,
Pretty much what you
it's
just said.
different.
I
Verbatim.
like it. There
Yeah,
was
yeah.
like
It's
a
like-
big chunk of the middle that was just like, yeah, that's not important. Let's just cut that shit out.
I mean,
Look at
straight to the point.
basically, they died.
Yeah.
Oh my
It was
god,
huge.
That's great. Alonzo's the best.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's great.
Man,
Shout out to
that's
Alonzo.
awesome.
funny.
But yeah, so that's how it starts. Okay, so right off the bat, you're like, holy shit, we're in The Boys. This is very much that vibe, and like super gory, hyper violent, just crazy. And then you get all of the satirical stuff too, where it almost feels like, and the dad is watching the news. It's almost like, I don't know if this was like the VOT Sports News Network yet, or if it was just the news, but it was about A Train getting nominated into the seven. And so it was like the first black man ever, and they basically do it like the NCAA draft, or I guess the NFL draft or NBA draft or
Right.
whatever. So it's like these top college athletes now are graduating to the pro level, and like it's full exploitation. Like A Train's doing the whole acceptance speech, like I thank God, like they got me here to this day, and nothing wrong with that, but it's just definitely spoofing off of what the athletes do when they make these acceptance speeches.
Yeah.
And totally ripping on that. And then we're brought to, boom, modern day in The Boys. So it's right after season 3 of where we find out that they're not these God-given talents, but that all their parents were injecting them with Compound V, and that at some point it would materialize and then they'd have powers. Well, this now, because this girl's parents is dead, she has one opportunity. She either goes to like an institution when she's done at this foster facility for kids, or she goes to college at Godolphin University, which is where soups go. And then the madness ensues. And because all these kids know that they weren't just special and born with these powers, their parents did this to them, some shit goes down because of that.
Oh.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's interesting because like now they no longer feel like they're special. Some of it, depending on the powers, are like hate their parents because they never asked for it.
Yeah.
And now they're stuck to deal with these certain situations. And they touch on, depending on the characters, they touch on certain things that every, I guess, like kids now will deal with. Like her roommate, her power, she can like shrink down, but in order to
Mm,
do that, she has
like
to like purge. So
Ant-Man.
she like throws up. Yeah, she can shrink down like Ant-Man, but she has to throw up like her food.
Ooh.
And like the more she does it, the smaller she shrinks or whatnot.
Eating
And then like
disorder?
Yeah, let me take a stab at that. If this is
do it, do it,
okay.
do it.
Ooh, bad pun. Um, but basically, okay. So Marie has to cut her. So yeah, maybe we should say trigger warning or whatever. If you're set to this. But
Well, right,
yeah,
right.
Marie has to cut herself in order to use her powers, which is blood manipulation. Little
Mm-hmm.
termite has to throw up or purge herself to shrink and then kind of eat to grow again. Let's see. Soldier, no, Golden Boy basically
Yep.
has the pressure of the school on him because he's ranked as the #1 hero. Same
Mm-hmm.
with Polarity, who is a legacy character who's basically living in his dad's shadows because
Mm-hmm.
his dad was a hero. And so his dad expects him to be #1 so that he can be the top ranked hero. And then we also meet Kate or Cade, I can't remember, but
Kate.
basically Kate, when she touches people, she can mind manipulate them, but she touches people like Rogue, and then she can manipulate them. Some people have said it's along the lines of like social media. So as you try to influence people or manipulate them, you kind of lose a piece of yourself. And as you see, the more she uses her power, the more it hurts her. So it's
Yeah, she
kind
has to like
of,
rest in between. And there's
yeah.
also Jordan.
And then there's Jordan Lee, yeah, exactly, who is a character who transitions from a boy or a girl, and depending on if she's a boy, she's invulnerable. When I guess when they're a girl, she has like force field powers, but was born a boy, and the parents want her to stay a boy, and don't want to accept her or them, but they I think identify more as a woman, but they haven't. I don't know if they've really said what their pronoun is or whatever. So it's really interesting. Yeah, a bunch of different issues that kids might have to deal with these days,
Mm-hmm.
and man, they play it up so well.
Yeah.
Right? Do you remember? So again, spoiler alert. At the end of episode 1, Marie is about to get kicked out because she witnesses the heroes. They all go out and party. They're all doing drugs, and Polarity Andre
Mm-hmm.
ends up slitting this girl's throat by accidentally manipulating this metal. So because of her blood manipulation, she saves this girl, and then goes in to talk to the dean, who's played by, I don't know why I
Clancy
said
Brown.
Clancy Brown. That's what it is. Who plays
Mm-hmm.
Doctor Brinkenoff? I think it is. But yeah, Doctor Brink basically,
Yeah.
and she goes in to like talk to him, and he basically says, hey, well, somebody has to take the rap for all of these heroes that everybody saw them high last night, and yeah, you're gonna have to take the bullet for them, or like fall on your sword for the rest of the team. And she's like, what?
Yeah.
That's not fair. As she's on her way to go tell him about that, she walks in and sees Golden Boy killing him, and Golden Boy flips out on her.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Which is
Yep.
crazy. Like he hugs the dean and just sets himself ablaze. And then she sees him like just fall to ashes, and he's like, "You're not supposed to be here." And then
Right,
it
and he
just
starts
gets
freaking
crazy.
out. Yeah.
What I liked about this scene too is like well, building up to the fighting portion. So Golden Boy's chasing Marie. Is it Marie? Sorry.
Yep,
Yeah,
chasing Marie.
Marie. Down the
Yeah.
hall. Marie bumps into Jordan, and then Golden Boy's kind of freaking out. He's like, "Are you in on this too?" Starts fighting Jordan. Jordan's his friend. Is like, "Hey, dude, calm down." What I liked about that fight though was cool. It's like Jordan starts having to fight off Golden Boy, but he's switching between his different
Yeah.
powers. It reminded me of I don't know if our listeners, how many of you guys played like Super Smash Bros. Melee, but it reminded me of Sheik and Zelda. He
Yeah.
could transform
Oh, that's
between
a
the two,
good
and like
example.
because two different sets of powers, but like they're using it like
Same
really
character, same
strategically.
person, but
Yeah,
yeah, they can swap out.
yeah, it was pretty cool.
It was, and
Um,
that fight is awesome. It is
yeah,
really badass, and both powers look dope. And both actors are phenomenal, and they do seem like they're the same person, which I don't know how they found. Like the person who's casted this show has killed it. Because again,
yeah, yeah.
even Patrick Schwarzenegger, who is Golden Boy, he, obviously Arnold Schwarzenegger's son, but I mean,
Ew.
he's great because he's not
Hmm.
quite an asshole. Like he totally seems like he should be an asshole. He's ranked #1, but yet he's kind of not. And you find out that he's dealing with his own things too. Oh, well,
Hmm.
also because his brother is kind of locked away in this prison below the school for
Right.
kids who are just losing it.
That's when you start, because you start kind of seeing Luke, Golden Boy, kind of like unraveling a bit and whatnot, and then you're like wondering like what you think it might just be the pressure to be the one, because when he's talking
Right.
to the dean's like, hey, we're making this suit for you, you're a shoe in for the seven, like you're there, you're going up to the big leagues, and you see on his face he's like like I don't want this, and you
Hmm.
think it might just be a pressure thing, or he's kind of just like forced by his parents to do this, but then you find out that like he's aware that his brother's locked away, and then it gets to a point where he thinks his brother commits suicide
Ooh.
because he was locked away, so he has this like on the back of his mind.
Hmm.
um then you realize the brother's not dead, so like he's just like pissed, like so it's cool. Like the pacing of the show is really good. It's like there's that little bit of mystery you're trying to solve. You're trying to figure out what's going on along with the characters. But I feel like everything's like the comedy, the pacing of like the mystery, and then the action, everything. Like it's got good pacing. Like
Yeah.
really strong first three episodes, I'd say.
Super, absolutely. Yeah, well said. Super strong. I mean, the symbolism for me,
Mm-hmm.
like the symbolism on what kids have to deal with these days and how it actually comes out, and how we talk a lot about like, oh, it must be so easy or the pressure and yada yada. And it's easy to downplay it or knock it down and be like, whatever, these kids got it so good or that's so dumb or whatever. But when you see it from this lens, I feel like it's a lot more understandable. And I feel like it's doing a good job of really showing me like, oh shit, no, that really would suck if you had whatever that situation would be. And yeah, I think more so for me, or at least the best example for me was Little Termite,
Yeah.
and she's kind of this YouTube star. But again, she has to purge herself to shrink down. And she's really famous, but then she starts reading through all the comments on her YouTube, and people are like, kill yourself, you suck, blah, blah, blah. And she's just like sitting there reading these comments and all depressed. And
Yeah.
then you meet her mom, who used to be employed by VOT, who's not employed anymore. And this pressure of like, no, this is your chance to really be something and
Like
I don't
you,
know,
you
make a
take what
name for
you can
yourself.
get and roll with it. And
Exactly.
she's like,
Pressure.
even if it's like at the expense of you and your
Mhm.
image and the way people
Yeah,
will
or
see
even her
you. Like,
health, right?
yeah, or
Like
yeah,
the
clearly, yeah, her health too. I really
yeah.
like that actress who plays Emma. Like she's got that the drama down, and then like all the comedy beats she has in the
Liz
show,
Broadway.
genuinely funny. Yeah,
Totally.
like
She's Ash.
I'm
Yeah,
laughing. Yeah, she's great. I really like her.
absolutely. She's so good. Again, Jazz Sinclair plays Marie, and the Marie Moreau. If you're like, oh, it's a silly name, it's on purpose because it wants to basically like highlight the alliteration we would see in comics, like Clark Kent or Matt Murdock.
Batman.
Bruce Banner.
Close.
Batman.
Yeah,
What's
yeah.
up?
It's off rhyme.
Exactly. Yeah, yeah. But I mean, it's
It's
so
like-
good, man. That first episode, I was like, holy shit, I'm in. It did, there were some parts in season 3 of The Boys for me that was like, it was okay. But the first 3 episodes of this show are so freaking strong, and I was really surprised at how good it was and how much I liked it.
Yeah. Oh, and then there's enough like nods to the other show to remind you that it's part of the same universe, other than just mentioning Compound V. Like you see characters like Ashley, you see like the director played by PJ Byrne, who did all like the big 7 movies or whatever. Now he's
Yeah.
like teaching drama at the school. And I
Mhm.
thought was interesting too is like when I heard it was a school thing, I thought it was like My Hero Academia. Like they're there to be heroes no matter what. But it
Right.
turns out only like 5% get that class, and the rest is like you're gonna do commercials, like we're gonna teach you how to be on TV and stuff like that.
Yeah.
You either do those 2 things or you go to a facility and they test on you or something. Like that seems pretty awful.
It does. It's
So
yeah, it's
stressful.
brutal. I know, and
Yeah.
it's like, okay, I guess I'm just an actor now or a glorified actor. And yeah, and then we see, and I think that's why I like Marie so much too, is you can tell she really wants to be a hero. She's not there, like, she doesn't have a cell phone. She doesn't even have social media. She's
Yeah.
there because she wants to be the number one hero. And at first you think, oh, because she just wants to be a hero, whatever. But it's like, you kind of realize it's so that she can maybe get on her sister's good graces or something.
Right. Or
But
even
it
just
makes,
see her again, right? Like it
or
seems like
even
they're
see her
not
again.
connected
Yeah,
again.
but you can tell like she actually is doing it for the right reasons. And I think that's why I like the heroes, quote unquote heroes, right? Because in The Boys, they've been quote unquote heroes. A lot of them have been straight up villains. But in this show, the heroes have actually tried to be heroic. And they
Yeah.
might be screwing up because they're kids or whatever, but they're actually really trying to do the right things for the most part.
Right. And on that, it was nice, like, she comes in and like some of the popular, they're pretty much the popular kids, right? The heroes, the top of the class right now.
Yeah.
They're like, maybe they're not gelling well. Like they're juniors, she's a freshman. And some of the interactions she's had with them have like not been the best. And then she gets invited out one night, now is like late to them because someone almost died, all this crap. And then when Luke goes, I don't know, did we talk about he just explodes? Did we talk about that?
Yeah. Oh, I don't know if we got to that part yet,
Oh,
but
okay,
yes,
sorry.
after
But
he runs
after
up to
that, we'll talk
Andre.
more about that.
Yeah.
Oh.
They're like now going to her, be like, hey, you gotta help out, we gotta figure. And then she's like, I don't even know you. Like my thing is like, I want to be a hero, and I know you're like, ooh, like, you know, you guys have a backup plan if something nothing works out. Like you guys have people looking out for you. So you see both of
Exactly.
their sides because they're like, there's something shady going on, and also she's like, I don't even fucking know you. Like
Yeah.
I have
Exactly.
to take advantage of this opportunity. So you're like,
Totally.
this is good. Like I like it.
Yeah, absolutely. Because at the start, Jordan, Lee, and her are not friends, or they're not friends. And you get it because Jordan doesn't let her into the class. She wants to be in the superior class. And they're like, no, you weren't, you weren't accepted. And they're like, you find out that it's because Jordan decided that she wasn't going to be accepted in the program. So she gets pissed at Jordan. And then Jordan is the one who basically saves her to some degree from Golden Boy. And because of that, the opportunity is there for Marie to give credit to Jordan on TV. And a random question gets thrown out to Marie on her sister. She kind of loses it and goes into autopilot and just starts reading the teleprompter. And Jordan gets pissed, like, why didn't you give me credit? You know, I'm the one that really saved you, and yada yada. But it makes sense because they even had that interaction. It's like, well, you weren't even gonna let me into the program, and then they slowly become friends after that, and whatever. Or it seems like they're going that direction, and you're like, damn, this is great writing. The enemies who are slowly becoming friends, I guess.
Because now they know her backstory. Like she had that
Yeah.
breakdown, right? Like, no, I don't want to talk right now. And then she
Right.
came on, just told him like, I killed my parents, not meaning to, and all this stuff.
Yeah.
And then you find out even about Kate's backstory about her brother,
Mhm.
tragic as well. When she
Right.
first found out about her powers, her brother was annoying her, and then she like grabbed her brother's arm, was like, I want you to get out of here and never come back. And like that's exactly what happened.
Yep.
Like his brother and they couldn't find him. So it's like they
Yeah.
have this tragic. So now they're like bonded by tragedy. And it almost has that Runaways feel to me as well.
Yeah.
Because
That's a
now
good
they're like,
example.
they're all learning about the big bad, which they thought they were part of something good, and they're like the higher ups are bad. So they're like kind of a part of it, but they're at that place where they can change something, maybe they think. So
Mhm.
kind of reminds me of that. Their bonding is like that.
Yeah, yeah. Will they change it? I don't know.
Yeah.
I
I don't know.
I'm thinking somebody gets corrupted, and I think this maybe shows how does a hero, or a suit go from starting the school and wanting to do the right thing and be a hero. Emma wants to be Maeve. Jazz, I forgot, or Marie. I think she also likes. I'm not sure who her top hero is. But she's a big fan of the Brink, the professor, who's all about hero ethics and how do you become a great hero and all these things. And, but how does that kid go from that to I'm just a product of VOT and is just a total shitbag after a while because they're just part of this machine and they're just a product and not really a person and they don't stand for anything. Yeah. Oh, man, it is so good. They're doing it so right. Yeah, you're right. We get in tie-ins to A Train. We see that A Train and Maeve were #1 heroes at the school, and that the Deep was number 6. Like even
And he's still doing videos. Sorry,
Yeah.
still on the screen.
he's still like
Okay.
shitty even at the school. It's just hilarious.
Or the Deep.
Totally. We got a nod to, I think her name's Christine, who is played by that redhead lady, Colby Milnife, I think. I don't know how you pronounce her last name. Minife. But yeah.
Oh, is her name Christine? Sorry, I was calling her Ashley. That's who I meant.
Is it Ashley? No, maybe it is Ashley.
Is it Ashley?
It's
That one in the boys where she ends up. There's like a part in one of the seasons where she's like losing all her hair because she's pulling it all out because
yeah.
her job is so damn stressful. Yeah, like she's she's great again in this. Like, she's yelling at like the new higher up, like, fix the problem. We spent so much money on Golden Boy, and now he's gone. Which we
Hmm.
get back to now. What
Yes,
Golden Boy
which
does.
okay, we were finally there.
Yeah,
He explodes, kills himself, and it's this big deal. Everybody's all bummed out. They Vought spins it that he was on drugs and that he went crazy. And the next episode, there's a memorial for him, and there's a girl who literally has Mr. Fantastic powers. So she stretches out her arm and is basically like crying into her phone, like, and as she ends recording, pulls her phone back, she just stops crying and walks away. It's like there's a total manipulation of emotions for clout,
yeah,
for building your brand, for all that.
Uh,
And it's just this crazy look at life because how many kids out there may be doing the same thing? Even people, I can't even say kids. There's adults that are
yeah.
doing that same thing.
okay.
And it's like
I've
it's a
definitely seen those
really
videos of people just like recorded, like it's a recording of them crying, and it's like sad music over it, maybe a caption, and then
Oh.
you're like, oh, dude, and then you read the caption of someone else, and they're like, who films himself crying? And then you're like, yeah, what the fuck? Like, how do you
yeah.
candidly catch yourself crying? Like, you recorded yourself, like, and then yeah, it's just like someone sat down and did that. So
Totally. You know which
it's
one gets
crazy.
shitted on the most from COVID was
What was that?
when Gal Gadot did the
Oh yeah,
Imagine
remember?
all the
Imagine,
people,
yeah,
right? That one, and then
Yeah,
all the
yeah.
other celebrities jumped in. Man, she gets hated on still
she
for
got,
that,
yeah.
but it
Oh,
feels in a way like what that scene was portraying, which is wow. Yeah, what a day, what an age. I just love how it takes a look at our life and there's things we see all the time and we're like, we probably don't think twice about it, but then you look at it from the boys lens and you're like, actually that's kind of fucked up and that's not right, and
yeah.
in a way only the boys could do. So god,
Yeah, and I
man.
think because
Oh
the
god.
boys like they sprinkle in stuff that's like totally real, but then because there's scenes that are like just so over the top, it feels enough like a show that you can just relate to versus something just feeding like, this is the world right now. Like sometimes
Right,
like,
right,
when it's done right, you can relate, but when it's like maybe just overly pushed, you're like, oh, okay, what's like, where's the
right,
story
right.
and where's the message you're trying to send me, right? Like it starts blending. But
Exactly. And then you
yeah,
get
like the whole there's
little
just
termite hanging off a dick so the
yeah,
guy
you
can
get
make so he can feel better about his dick size.
which
Yeah.
I feel bad for her. I would have just been like,
I feel
fuck
bad for her
you,
too.
dude. Get out of
But
here.
we she gets, I guess a little bit of redemption or something in episode 3.
Yeah. But even like it's so the boys where they're like, there's a point where they're looking for a phone that Luke left behind, and he's like, it's like your dad has it basically. And he's like, my dad or whatever. So then he realizes it's in the statue, and he's like, oh, and I'm like, of course it's in the crotch. Like it's a very boys, like you got a whole statue to work with, of course it's in the dick. And then there's another part where like that polarities in the stairwell, and then the lady who can touch, Kate, she like tells the dude like, suck on the flashlight and shove it up your butt or something, right? And then he
Yeah.
like, it cuts to him like comedically going down and like sucking on this flashlight, and then later she referenced like, oh, that was so mean. I'm like, yeah, you could have just touched him and said go to sleep, but you said that. Like,
Right, right, right.
what are you trying to say? Yeah, you did that.
Oh man, it
It's
was
just
such
funny,
a
but it's very the
everything.
boys.
Yeah, everything everywhere all at once. Where they're all just trying to like shove stuff up their ass so
Yeah,
that they
very
can
much.
like snap into it or snap out of it or
Yeah,
whatever.
yeah. That scene was
Oh
hilarious,
man.
by the way.
Yeah. God, this show is fantastic so far, though. Yeah, I don't know. Any other thoughts on it? I think we kind of touched on it. A lot of great boys tie-ins. The vibe is right. There is great characters with great actors, and the symbolism in the show is on point. So
Yeah,
It
there
sounds
was. Oh,
like
sorry.
oh no. It sounds like it's got like a My Hero Academia dark vibe. Because it's in a school. Is that kind of in the same?
um,
Kind of, but
Because
then the only thing is like,
they're using their powers in different ways. Tons more
yeah.
obviously like relevant drama. They're trying to be number one, utilizing clouds and things. Obviously different, but
yeah, but
Scott,
not
elaborate.
everyone's like accepted into the superhero portion.
I see.
Versus
Yeah.
My Heroes, like everyone is
Oh,
there's a place
okay.
for everyone to be a superhero.
I don't.
Most
I
of them,
don't.
it really is just gonna be, you get a spot in media somewhere.
Yeah.
Sometime.
I don't even know if this is a great comparison, but to me, it feels like Gossip Girl meets The Boys.
Interesting.
I've never seen Gossip Girl, but I'll take your word
Yeah.
for
Never
it.
There's
seen
like
Gossip Girl.
they're like trying to manipulate each other's emotions and like catch them doing something messed up so that they can get one up each other. And everybody's fighting for that top spot and whatever, like to
Mm,
be the number one hero or to be with the number one hero or to like hang with them.
yeah.
Yeah, but yeah.
This
But I see what you're saying, but it's not it's I don't know, it just doesn't feel like My Hero Academia.
yeah.
That makes sense.
Though
Yeah.
this made me think they could totally do one.
True.
Like I could totally
Yeah.
see a My Hero Academia movie like or a show like this
Mhm.
be done. That'd be cool. But this also brought up a question for me. Sorry, real quick, is like, do you think running a school like that, granted them knowing that they're test subjects basically changes everything, but if they didn't, they all thought they were gifted, right? Like kind of like the X-Men. Do you think the real way to keep them online would be to have like a Professor Xavier, like someone that's like so OP they can keep and a good
Mm.
person that can make sure everyone stays within the lines, right? Because some of these students are so powerful. It's like Luke was just going down tearing everyone up. I'm like, who's gonna
Yeah.
stop this guy? Like,
Right,
Oh.
right.
you know?
I was impressed that Jordan could even hang as long as they could. I was like,
Yeah, me too.
I was like, oh shit. Because I
Guys
thought
are
instantly, I was like, wait, are they just gonna kill Jordan in the first episode?
yeah.
But yeah,
And then his friend
true.
Polaris or whatever. I thought he was gonna die too when he's like, I love you, and he hugged him. I
Hmm.
thought he was like, I love you. And I was like, is this like a goodbye? I love you. Like I'm gonna kill you right now. I love you. Like,
Yeah,
I was kind of
yeah,
scared for him.
it was.
But
Yeah, it's almost like that Game of Thrones in a sense where you like never know who's gonna die and
yeah,
at what point. So you're always like, oh shit, it's happening right here, and
very
then it
true.
doesn't. Maybe though on the professor thing, because the whole dean of the school, there's like, it feels weird, right? She's kind of
Yeah.
taking Marie under her wing a little bit, and it was like, this is the way you're gonna get sponsors, and this is the way you're gonna get your stock up, and then they go to the fundraiser, and it's totally them selling themselves. Yeah, I don't, maybe because there's just something up there. But
Yeah.
they have equipment, I guess, too, like that apparently you find
Well,
out
that's
that
true.
soups can hear at a different level than
Oh.
normal humans. So they have this loud emitter that like hurts soup's ears or whatever and like basically like cripples them and then enough for
Right.
them to come around and like put in like handcuffs and power dampeners or whatever. So maybe though, I wouldn't put it past them because we found out in the Boys season 3 that that one senator chick was also like the one exploding people's brains.
Yeah. Please stop
Yeah.
that. It's crazy.
So
Ooh.
so
But
good.
good
I
stuff.
can't.
Definitely recommend it. I think we
Oh
went.
man,
Sorry if
so
we went
good.
long, but go watch it.
Yeah.
Do it.
And I'm sorry if we spoiled it, Drake. But I know
Oh
you
no,
like
you
spoilers.
don't. You didn't spoil it.
Yeah, lucky enough, I think there's 9 episodes of the show, so there's still a lot of show left
Sweet.
for you to kind of get on board with. Yeah.
And do we know if it's just like the first three came out once and then it's a weekly one at a time, or like
Yeah.
three at a
I'm
time every
I'm
week?
pretty sure it's that.
One
That's
at a time after. Okay.
so 8 episodes. Yeah, and I'm pretty sure they dropped 3 and then it's going to be weekly, 1 episode a week.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Nice.
So yeah, man, check it
Very
out. Gen
nice.
V, it's weird to say like it's so good to have the boys back, but because it's not the boys, but also it
Yeah.
kind of is, but and also like the boys could be a pretty tough show to watch for some people, and God, but
Yeah,
it
very
is.
true.
It's
That
good.
reminded the first part of the episode, the first episode, I was like, it reminded me of that. I'm like, yeah, this really isn't for everybody, huh? Like,
Yeah. No, no, seriously. Christina walked in, she's like, what the fuck? Like, it just walked right out. I'm like, oh, okay. Yeah, not for everybody.
yeah.
Yeah. Right on. All right. So, yeah, that was Gen V. We're into probably the biggest finale and what everybody probably came here to hear about, which is Ahsoka.
Ahsoka.
And yeah, oh gosh. Yeah, I'll let you guys, whoever, Drake, why don't you take it away first, since you weren't able to watch Gen V?
Um. Wow. What to say? I mean, Ahsoka. I wrote some notes. Um.
Ooh.
I thought the finale was super awesome. It's kind of such a stupid lame, but
Dude, sig notes.
yeah, Signa,
Is that all
dude.
in caps when you
But
wrote that
yeah,
down?
I mean that's the most of it. It it
Triple
was
underline.
what it felt like to me was as you're peering out of the window, or you're peering at a window and the window's closing, and as you're zooming in, you're
Hmm.
looking in towards, and it's like another, it's opening another environment, another area.
Feels like like those ones like the 3D art where people can keep zooming in, and each time it's
Yeah.
like
Oh, I
through a
love
new. There's
those.
like a new
Yes.
image. Oh man, I love
Yeah.
those too.
I can
It's
watch those forever.
it was so essentially there's so much closure on the things that were pimped earlier. There's a lot of finality to this finale. You get to see a lot of the things that we were like, are they gonna talk about that? Like, why did that happen? All of those things kind of conclude, and then there's moments where we're like, oh, one of the things that I totally forgot when they showed Balin and Shin, I was like, oh yeah, they're in this show too.
Okay,
I totally
yeah.
forgot that they were even there. And then when they showed them, I was like, oh yeah, there's a story plot to be had here. And oh, look at this new interesting story plot. And then even when Ezra uh, and Hera finally, spoiler alert, met back up, I'm like, oh, here's another story plot here because now we have Ahsoka and Sabine still in on Peridia, and we're like, oh, okay. And then you have even the grandeur of the things where you have Thrawn, spoiler alert, uh, where they're now at Dothamir. And so
Yeah.
there's just all these new windows that you just want to look through after we've just kind of concluded the beginning of Ahsoka. And I thought it was one of the best finales into anticipatory want
Mm.
moving
Hmm.
forward.
Yeah.
Mm. Yeah, I thought it was great too. I really thought they did a good job of making it feel like a finale and making it feel like it did close a lot. There was a few things for me. Uh, let's just talk about good. I loved it. I loved it. I still think it's S tier. I think it's fantastic. But I did feel like, because you mentioned Balin and Shin, I was like, what happened to them? I felt like they kind of got left out. And I saw somebody online say, I think that the death of Ray Stevenson kind of threw them off. And maybe
Uh,
they had a different ending for his character. And then they
ooh.
just had to, like, just leave it at a cliffhanger to not mess with. I don't know. I don't know. You know
Because
what I
maybe the
mean?
other ending would have to have them show more of him or something. Whereas this, they
Yeah,
could be
yeah.
like, he's off on his journey. We don't need to. If we never show
Right.
him again, we know he's working towards something.
Exactly. Which that was the thing. My biggest question through the season was what's Balin's main goal, and they weren't able to answer it, and that's okay. So I
What's
that
in
was
the
just something that was
box?
constantly stuck in my head. But the
Yeah.
action in this, the what we get to see with Ezra, what we got to see with Sabine, what we got to see with Morgan Elsbeth, her finally. Christina was asking me like, why doesn't she look like the rest of the Night Sisters? And then boom, right in this episode they show it, and you're like, oh, sick! Like it's an earned thing to look like that. Now that you're just born like that, which I thought was
You gotta
amazing.
earn ugly.
Yeah. Yeah, so I mean all of that was really great, but I think that was one thing for me. I was like, "Oh man, like I wish I had more of an answer there." And then my last thing was um I felt like Sabine and Ahsoka basically just swapped places with Thrawn and Ezra. I was like, oh wait, so at the end of this they just swapped places. So
Yeah.
that was funny, but yeah, it just kind of made me chuckle to myself after. But this show felt like the most like a TV show out of anything I've seen in Star Wars for a while.
Mm.
Maybe not Andor, maybe that's why I liked Andor, but it felt like a real show. You know,
May
like some
I?
Marvel things feel like a movie chopped up into six parts. Like
Yeah.
Oh
this,
yeah, yeah, yeah.
yeah, this felt like
Listen,
a show.
yeah. I wanted to juxtapose your thoughts on the swap. Like Sabine and Ahsoka were willing to do kind of anything to help each other to an extent, and then Thrawn is willing to sacrifice anything
Ooh,
to get his goals
Yeah.
I like
accomplished.
that.
Like even with Morgan, like when you see Morgan, like oh, like it to me, it seemed like Morgan. There was a point in time where she was like, "Oh shit, this is Thrawn." Like I was always a pawn,
Yeah,
and like
she
when she,
realizes it.
yeah, like
Yeah. She's like,
slowly and
I'm supposed to be there for the long ride. Like,
yeah,
okay, I get
and
it.
she's just everybody's
Yeah, that
expendable.
sucked.
Yeah, and so
And then the
that's
mean girls walk by her.
yeah, like what's that bitch? But
Good
I think
luck.
that's what differentiates Thrawn from a lot of what we've seen previously in Star Wars is just that the amount of like sacrifice. He's just willing to just
He's
you're
cold and
gone and you're
calculated.
dead. Yeah, it's so
Yeah.
ooh, man, it's scary.
Everybody's expendable. Yeah.
But
I still
himself.
don't know why though. Like everybody follows him. Like, does he got like a big dick or like I don't understand. Like I don't
He's got
understand.
the energy.
Yeah, he's got that that big bottle energy. Yeah.
Garen's,
But
Garen's.
yeah.
Big
But
boo.
how? But like from a Morgan standpoint, right? Like knowing that he's willing to achieve his goals in that way, like you're so willing to sacrifice for him. But even though, like I don't know, it's tough.
Yeah, it was a
Yeah.
little. Yeah, I kind of have that question a little bit too.
Yeah.
Yeah, but what about you, Scott? What was your take on this finale?
Um, I thought it was great. Like the action was crazy good.
Oh yeah,
I'm excited to see more Thrawn. That's why, like, I mean, even before I watched the episode, I was, I guess, reading fake headlines because, but there were something like, was Ahsoka canceled? And then now I'm hearing like season 2 is probably greenlit.
Yeah,
Right.
you got to follow our social media. I don't know where you're going for this stuff.
Hey, you gotta make sure you gotta reach out and see other stuff too. You know, the wrong shit. I'm reading wrong stuff. Yeah, you're right. But like especially with this ending, I'm glad I like read that first, and then you were like, "Don't worry," and then I watched the episode because with the way it was left off, I'm like, dude, I can't wait to see more Thrawn. Like, I can't wait to like. Of course, Ahsoka's gonna come back somehow. She's gonna like maybe Dory call those whales back or something, and like ride back or something. I don't know. She seems pretty.
Uber.
She's like, we're home now, for now, I guess. Also, I don't know if she saw Anakin.
Oh,
It seemed
Sabine?
like Sabine. Well, it seemed like Sabine almost like, I swear I saw something. And then Ahsoka's like, I feel like Ahsoka looked and was like, yeah, I see you, bro. And then like he saw and like Sabine or she saw and Sabine didn't or something. That was
Yeah.
pretty cool though. But
I was fully under, like my head. She fully saw him, and then he saw her. Like I thought they fully
Ahsoka,
were.
right?
Yeah, yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
Ahsoka and him fully saw each other and acknowledged each other. That was
Right,
my
right.
take on it.
Okay. Yeah. Just because yeah, I mean, like, yeah, I guess you're right. Like, I had a strong feeling that she saw him, but the way it ended, I'm like, also, he could have just been a ghost. Like, I hope she sees me. Like, just the way
Yeah,
it
they didn't
paced
say
out.
anything.
Yeah, he
they
was just like,
looked.
looking just
How did you
hanging out
feel
here.
about Sabine like tapping into the Force?
That was really cool.
That
I
was.
thought, and it was cool that like she was kind of being like thrown into the fire to like do it, like sink or swim. Like, we fucking need your help right now. Open these doors, and like she had to like, which I sent you guys that thing after. Like, I just saw that clip of the sketch, that's on Netflix. What is it called? I
What's
think
that
You Should
guy's
Leave or
name?
something. But that guy's so
Steven.
funny. But it's just, basically the sketch is like he ends a job interview, and then he's gonna go to a door, and then the guy who interviewed him is like, "Oh, I think it's a push," and he's like, "No, this door goes both ways," and then he starts pulling it, and then it just gets awkward, and the door starts slowly like breaking, and then he pulls it forward, and he breaks the door, and then he leaves, and it's like super awkward. He's sweating, and it just made me think because they're like, "Open the door," and I'm like, "Have they even seen this door? How do they know how it opens? They're just shooting force at it, like hoping they're
But
opening
that's
it the
true,
right
yeah.
way."
Right,
You
right.
know, like, are they pushing, pulling, and it's like you push inward. Yeah. So I thought that was just kind of funny.
Yeah,
There was just a bunch of little things I thought were just kind of funny, but overall, I really liked the episode.
yeah, I found it. I mean, I guess it's under I think you should reel. So if you look that up, you'll see some of those clips of that
Okay, and I
guy,
think the
whatever
show's
that
called
guy's
"I
name
Think
is.
You Should Leave"
Oh, I think
on
you should. Oh, that's
Oh.
right. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I think
Yeah.
you should leave.
So
Um,
it was. I loved it. It felt earned by Ahsoka being able to grab that lightsaber.
Yep.
Man, this is gonna sound super nitpicky because I did like it. I was like, oh, I liked it. That was sick.
Uh-oh.
This is so good. But it was like,
Uh-oh.
I felt like she just. It went from I could barely get my lightsaber to, oh, Ezra, jump across this thing and let me yeet you like 1,000 miles.
Dude, I think she was in her
Skirt.
feels, dude. I think
Yeah,
like
yeah.
that's why I think it was like real sink or swim. For
Mhm.
me, I was like, it must have been like she finally figured out how to do it,
Like she feels
and
it.
then she's like,
Mhm.
I still kind of feel like I know what I'm doing right now, so we got to do it while I
Well,
got
I
it.
can.
Oh
You
yeah,
know,
yeah. She was
before I
in the
get the
zone.
yips or
Yeah,
something.
yeah,
You know?
yeah. Oh,
Yeah.
we don't say that.
Oh, sorry, dude.
Yeah, you
But
got it
Yeah.
now. But
we're not even playing sports, so like.
Oh,
take
yeah,
it
that's
easy.
true. Yeah,
Stop.
that's
Don't
true.
throw
Yeah,
that at
sorry.
me.
the sport of podcasting.
Shit out of
Heyo.
here.
Something that I really really want to see is a Hu Yang throughout the years like 15-minute episode.
God,
of just like his backstory. Holy shit! Like when he was like, "Oh, Kanan Jarrus, look, I have this fucking thing that I held for him, and now it can be yours." Like, oh, that's crazy. Like, how the fuck long have you been
Yeah.
alive, bro?
I know
And he's
that
like, long
backup
enough to
emitter.
know. Yeah, and I was like, that's not an answer.
Yeah,
Yeah, I think somebody found out or did the math or whatever. He's like 25,000 years old.
yeah, it's on Looper.
Is it
How old? How old?
25,000 years?
Yeah,
Dude,
So
he's got that Energizer in him.
yeah, right. Anyway,
Yeah.
whatever it was, like 61% original parts. Like they did, things were built better back in the day. You know what
Yeah,
I mean?
for sure.
Like, just built different, literally. But yeah, that part was so great where Ezra's putting together the lightsaber just like Kanan's lightsaber, and it just got you in the feels, and you're like, oh my god, the student has become the master, the Padawan, has become the master. Oh, I love that so much. I thought that part was fantastic.
Yeah.
And then they get into the Sith, whatever, where the bad guys are, and then they're all like back to
Anti-building.
back.
Oh yeah,
whatever.
yeah.
And Ahsoka's in the middle, dual wielding it. Sabine's on one side, Ezra's on the other side, and oh god,
Star
that
Wars
was
zombies.
sick.
That was cool.
That was,
Yeah.
But the
really,
whole
really
thing, like,
cool.
yeah, it was just like the choreography's great. Sabine doing the shooting and the cutting now,
Teamwork, great.
great.
Yeah,
It seemed like, I swear at one point, Ahsoka was just doing this. And
Yeah,
blocking all the
yeah.
lasers.
yeah. She was just
They were,
like-
yeah,
like-
they were
He's like,
doing
"All right, I just
like
gotta back up a little
being
bit."
circle. There was definitely
Yeah.
choreographed situations, but that makes
Yeah.
sense.
Right.
There's also things like, so in those moments, I'm like, they're like, I'm like, if I had the force powers, I would just like McTwist people or some shit, like, boop, and then cut their legs, or like, like use the force a little more
Wow,
creative.
jeez.
I think.
Sounds like the
Um,
dark side.
yeah, you're evil, bro.
A
And I'm like, I'm
McTwist
over there,
and
it
you.
had to be done, guys.
Big twisted like double amputee or whatever. Or just
I
like
know,
fucking-
jeez.
ouch.
Just concave people's helmets in. You're like,
Jesus.
they're asleep.
To
Like
the
those
dark
Batman sketches.
side. The Batman fires. Oh my goodness. Pete Holmes, you're hilarious.
That'd be great.
But there are definitely parts where I'm like, especially like Ahsoka's fighting one of the the stormtroopers in the black up top. I'm like, just push that guy off the building. Like, he's dead. He's an undead guy. Like, force push him. If you
Right.
can, if you have enough power to jump to a ship 50 feet, 100 feet away, or whatever the hell, you can force push a guy 20 feet off a building. Like, why are you fighting him? Like, just boom.
Oh, sorry, Scott. I never noticed you so like the
Bro, I was
force
like,
math
bro,
guy
I
over
had
here,
force
bro.
powers, boy. Just freaking clock some
Yeah.
guys with the force punches, huh?
Yeah, so I apparently like Ezra's getting a lot of shit online because his kicks, in the last episode or the previous episode, he was like kicking and doing all that stuff, and they were like he was still hitting them, but he wasn't actually making contact. And then people kind of reference in Return of the Jedi when Luke does that on the ship in Tatooine. He like kicks and it like is a freaking 3 feet away from this dude's face.
Force
and the guy
kick,
goes
bro.
like, yeah, force kick. Yeah,
Yes.
like
Actually, he should have been doing that more, because when we first saw Ezra, he was doing all this like Avatar, the Last Airbender moves, like hitting
Right.
people with just force powers, and then all of a sudden he's trying to punch armor. And I'm like, dude, just use your force right now. You don't like, I don't
Right.
like,
yeah, no, it's like, why
choreography
did you
kinda-
forget one episode to the next? Now that you
Yeah.
got a lightsaber, you don't actually have to make contact anymore. But
Yeah, exactly.
yeah, but he was sick. I mean, they really did a good job of making him look cool. Again, yeah, you're right. The choreography was great. In fact, I think my favorite fight out of all of them though was Ahsoka versus Morgan Elsbeth, where
Ooh,
she
yeah.
gets the magic sword with magic with a K.
Yeah.
Dude, that was the choreography. They were going off.
They were going
Like
off.
That
Rosario
was
Dawson.
super cool.
Mhm.
Just the one thing was like the stormtroopers, they were shooting at her while she was backing up, but then as soon as they got to that area, they're like, nah, let's watch this.
Yeah,
And like, it's like they were like, they so don't trust their aim that they're like, I don't want to hit Morgan. So
right.
They're zombified too, so
yeah.
Yeah, I was wondering about that. So like everybody was debating, were all of the stormtroopers or night troopers that had the red sashes, were they alive or dead? That but people were constantly asking about it. We see now that they weren't quite dead because they were reanimated after and they turned into zombies. But yeah, I was like, were all of them just dead? And then were all of them so that I couldn't tell what they were or not. And then I'm like, man, these zombies really don't trust their aim when they stop shooting because they're in the circle.
Yeah.
Just yeah,
There
yeah.
was a point where the zombies were zombieing, like they were like, oh, and then all of a sudden they're running upstairs like regular human beings. They're like, yeah,
Yeah,
let's run
yeah,
upstairs.
yeah,
Like,
yeah.
whoa, watch
Like,
your step. Watch your step, guys.
yeah. Left. Let's take a
Bobby
file.
fell
Take
last
your
week.
time.
Who wasn't? Didn't Ahsoka fight somebody in Mandalorian as well?
Morgan Elsbeth.
That was Morgan Elspeth, right? With the
Yeah, she had
Beskar
the
pull.
Beskar spear.
So that closure was nice as well too.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah, but
true.
that fight scene was awesome.
Yeah, it's just man, Morgan Elsbeth, started this season, started with Balin and Shinbreaker out, and then all of that work she did throughout this season was basically just to get left there.
I know.
And
It's
right when she gets to her probably highest level or whatever as a full Night Sister, it's like God
it's
damn.
funny. She's like the only bad guy that I ever felt bad for.
Yeah,
Like
yeah,
I'm normally
totally.
like, yeah, screw you, but I felt like it's when Thrawn's like, someone's gotta stay, you know.
She's like,
She's
oh
like,
shit.
Oh, me?
yeah, me then I guess. He's
Yeah,
like,
like, I know.
and then I felt bad for her, and then she gets double cut, and I was like, oh, that sucks. She's dead
Yeah.
now. Like,
I know. It was
felt bad for
brutal.
her.
Shout out to
Well, yeah.
Diana Lee
Yeah, you crushed it.
Inosanto.
Ino
Yeah, she killed it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it was great. Hopefully, Ahsoka keeps that blade because it did break her
Her
lightsaber.
lightsaber.
Yeah, which is
Yeah.
actually slanted, much like Dooku's, but in the opposite direction, like a katana. So that was pretty awesome. I like that.
Yeah, that's pretty
That
cool.
was cool.
Oh, you know what
Yeah.
else was weird? I didn't understand the thought behind Ezra when he lands and he like just walks off the ship as a stormtrooper, like, hey, this would be a cool gag. Let me just go out there as a stormtrooper and hope I don't get shot. And then
Right.
then take off my helmet. Like, what are you thinking? Take off your helmet. Like,
I know. I don't know
you
why
just
he
shot
was
him.
like he escaped, and then when he landed, he was like, maybe I should take this off. He was like, nah, just go out there like
Nah,
that.
he's like, dude, it's gonna be hilarious. And he's like, is that no way that's him? I'm like, yeah, that's me, dude. Like, what? That's such a bad
He's like,
plan.
he
That was a
drops
bad
off,
plan.
and he's like, hey, Hera, I really liked you in Pilgrim. Scott Pilgrim fights the. Ah, God, I messed
Oh
up
yeah.
that joke so bad.
I know.
Moving
dang
on.
Moving
it.
up. Yeah, he waits for the
Oh,
robot to come
Oh,
over
that
until they
would've
I
slap.
know,
slapped.
son of a bee.
Oh damn.
But yeah,
Wait,
you're
say it
right.
again. We'll
It
cut
just
it.
doesn't make sense when you're out of the hit. The biggest part of the battle. You finally get out, and like you get back to, yeah, to Hera, and Chopper. Maybe Zeb's there, and
Yeah.
then you're just like, surprise, it's me.
You know, I
I
think
just.
it comes down to him being too goddamn casual again.
Cool, goddamn.
He's
Yeah.
like, his friends didn't make it, and he's like, let me
Yeah.
just do this for lulz. I'll go out
Right.
like a
Knowing
stormtrooper.
knowing Thrawn though, right? Like knowing Thrawn, he knows everything. He's calculated. So he let Ezra leave because
part
how
of the
could you
plan.
not know? How could
Yeah,
you
all,
not know Ezra took a ship off your plane?
that's
And
true.
then
Oh, that was the other thing.
He did that
Ezra
before,
jumps on
though.
there.
that's true, yeah.
Yeah, he did
Sorry.
that before, I think, in Rebels.
Yeah.
So
He's,
Oh,
he's
okay,
like
okay.
apparently really good at hiding and getting
being
armor.
sneaky.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he's a really sneaky.
The
What
other
were you
thing
gonna say,
too is
Scott?
like the
Oh.
two stormtroopers. When they're like, "Are we gonna jump? You gotta jump! Like right now, we gotta do it." And they're just hanging out, right? And Ezra goes. She gives him the boots. He goes up, fights the first one, and then she just goes boom and shoots the other one out. And I'm like, you could have done that the whole time. You could have just shot these guys. Like,
Right.
why'd you wait? I don't know. But
For
that's
drama,
why
man.
I find when I like the thing, I enjoy this episode so much. It's just the little things that I found were hilarious. Too
Right.
little to even like break me liking it. Like it's just kind
Yeah.
of funny to me, but I still really enjoyed this thing. It's really
100%.
good.
Yeah, it wasn't enough to break me out of anything, but I did
Yeah.
find myself catching those little things
really
and being like,
silly
wait,
moments,
why?
Yeah.
Yeah, you're just like, okay, whatever. But I mean, my like for it like trumped all of the little silly things that kind of didn't make sense. And
Mhm.
that's how good of an ending it kind of was. It
Yeah.
still gave us a lot of what we wanted to see. And I think I still have so many questions.
Yeah.
And that feels like a TV show. And also, what questions do you guys still have? And maybe let's talk briefly about maybe some predictions for season two.
Balin, Shin, what
Okay.
is going to happen there? Those are my two largest questions.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
true. Because Balin,
He
he
joined Lord of
found
the
his
Rings.
Mount Rushmore where his
Yeah.
face was carved into the rock. He's like, "That's me."
Yeah.
Definitely. What I have seen online, and totally hilarious on the Mount Rushmore, but it was I guess somebody put it up against a picture of the father, brother, and sister, and it
Hmm.
totally looks like the father and brother, but that the sister's head is cut off. And somebody wrote it's because the sister has arrived, meaning Ahsoka.
Uh,
Is that
Okay,
yeah.
I gotta look into the father and brother thing. I don't really know
Yeah.
what all that is,
That so
but
that's from Clone Wars. There's a really acid
Yeah.
trip of an episode where
Yeah.
Obi-Wan Kenobi, Anakin Skywalker, and Ahsoka all go to this planet, meet the Immortus gods, who are again father, brother, sister. The father well, let's put it this way: the brother is the dark side of the Force, sister is the light side of the Force, and the father is the balance. And
oh,
yeah, and so the father looks like the mountain that statue that Balin is standing on, and then the brother looks like the statue next to, or yeah, the
the other
brother,
one, yeah.
yeah,
Oh,
and
okay,
then the
okay,
sister wasn't there,
yeah.
and then we
Oh,
see the
interesting.
Morai owl.
Oh yeah, that's
Yeah, I
So
was
true.
just saying,
Yeah.
oh, to get wheels.
yeah,
Woo.
yeah. Yeah, the freaking Ahsoka Pueo, bruh. But for real, I mean, that's Ahsoka's thing in Rebels. There's always that Morai owl. I think even in Clone Wars. Can't remember. I haven't watched that in a while. But yeah, so I like that theory, and I think it is them. So maybe we see the beginning of the Immortus gods and the beginning to these archetypes or people who first tapped into the Force. I don't know.
That would make sense if they're trying to lead into the High Republic, because the High Republic, and all of that, what is that called, like regalia and quote unquote religion. Hopefully that'll kind of help broaden it when we see the start of it, right, with those individuals. But
Yeah.
uh, what about Shin? She raises her sword,
Mm-hmm.
her lightsaber, to the Japanese style Tusken Raiders.
Hmm.
Mhm.
uh, I think she's going to become their leader and then maybe have some babies. I don't know what's happening.
I I don't know about that at all. I don't know where they were going with Shin and Balin again. That's my biggest question still. Is like he's like we have to start something over. This is our chance to take power. This is and most of my questions revolve around him because and it's a product of Ray Stevenson did such a good job. I want to know more about that character.
Yeah,
And knowing about that character is knowing about their motivation and what they want. And I still don't know what he wants.
yeah. It's a shame, man. I really
It
like
is.
that character.
Yeah, yeah, he was fantastic. He killed it. But yeah, interesting to see what they do with that. Obviously, I don't think Ezra and Hera have to go back to that galaxy to save them.
No.
If I had to predict something for season two, this is what I would do
Teleportation.
is they would because they could still use the light speed of the force. They have to justify fuel or whatever, right? But if they could basically say that with Ahsoka and Sabine combining their powers in the Force, they're able to navigate the space in between the galaxies to fly back.
Huh?
I'd be cool with that.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
you
yeah,
just
yeah.
start off season two. They're on that planet. They're figuring out how they're going to make the trip. They decide that's how they're going to make the trip. Or maybe there's one battle between them and Balin and Shin, but they decide that's the way they're going to fly back. They are able to navigate to get back to the galaxy there. And Ezra and Hera and Zeb are all preparing because there's rumors of Thrawn returning and starting a whole new force, basically building up his empire on Dathomir.
Yeah. It's like Polynesians in space, just using the Force to navigate across galaxies, huh?
Yeah. Brought a Thrawn Kamehameha over here, just uniting the galaxy.
Oh,
Headfirst.
hey, that guy, huh? That guy. That, I mean,
So,
yeah, it definitely opens up the Star Wars universe more without the multiversal type situation. I really like that expansion. I know we talked about it the last time we spoke about it, but it makes it very, very interesting to now, because now we can kind of we have the established IP. We have the A New Hope and Empire Strikes Back, and now we have kind of this where we can look back but still move forward.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. Yep. And man, it's such a good place to start. Like I feel like we were just getting a piece of this, and now it's done. And I'm like, okay, I want more. And I think that is the sign, for anything of like, wow, that's a really good show. I felt that about One Piece. I felt that about maybe not Succession because I felt like they wrapped that up pretty nice. But you're like, damn, like I want more right now,
Yeah.
yeah, oh, so good, so good.
So good.
So, all right, well, yeah, I think that kind of wrapped.
Good.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Say that one more time.
We'll make it work.
It's so
So good.
good.
Okay.
Okay, good.
Yeah,
Okay.
like it's,
I tried to help you out there.
Okay.
It was all bad.
It's
bad.
okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
That works
Who wants to close it out for
Oh
tonight?
wait, before Loki season 2
Oh, dude.
starts like tomorrow or tonight, however you want to watch it, stay up. But
We
buddy,
go into, oh my god. All right, guys. Peace out. Catch you guys later. Man, I know what I'm doing right after this. Yes, Loki season 2. And by all accounts, man, I've read a few things from people who got screeners. I guess they got the first 4 episodes, which how is that fair? But apparently people are like, this is some of the best stuff Marvel's done in a long time. So don't want to like blow your expectations through the roof, but that's what I've read. I'm going to try to think about it being Boba Fett and not being Ahsoka. And then,
yeah. I'm gonna try not to get too excited and just enjoy for what it is. But
exactly.
I'm excited to have it again.
Mm-hmm.
My last word is that this Looper article has the Ones / the Celestials number 6 on the most powerful beings in the Star Wars universe, and then number 5 is Rey.
Number 5 is Rey. Wow. Where does Luke stack up then?
Luke is
or
number
Leia?
4.
Number 4. Okay, Leia 3, or they tie
Yoda.
Luke and Leia together.
Nope, Yoda 3, Darth Sidious 2, Darth
Damn.
Vader 1. Yep.
Leia just getting shit on.
Yep, she's not even in the thing. She's not even in the list.
What?
She's not even in
That's
the
a
list.
BS list, bro. That list is wrong.
It's so funny how I mean, I'm obviously like, I run into this too, but it's funny you just read one list and you're like, this guy's got it so wrong. Fuck this guy.
Yeah.
Like as if just because he wrote a list and posted it, we're like, oh man, like I gotta believe this shit. Like,
yeah.
It's so
I
funny,
don't.
but I
don't
love a good
believe it.
list, and I'll look for another list that reflects my thoughts. I'm like, yeah, that's a good list right here.
They get it.
Yeah.
This guy
do
gets
that all the
his.
time.
This is actually a smart person who wrote this. He's a dumb writer and looper. No, totally. That's why we don't list things on this as much anymore.
Yeah,
I
and
feel
it
like-
changes too.
Yeah, it totally does.
Yeah.
All right, man. Yeah, somebody take it away and close us out.
Well, let's see if I can.
No.
All right.
Oh,
What are you gonna do? Sing a song?
What if we do? No, I'll say thanks, and then you say for, and then someone else says.
Thanks for sticking it, everybody.
All right, cool. All right.
Have a good night.
The Joystick Show.